Now, people placed on the top of the priority list to get the COVID vaccine still have not received them, but not because they don't want them. That's happening, especially with people at assisted living facilities and in nursing homes. In fact, one St. Johns County woman wondered why her husband in a long-term care facility had still not been vaccinated, while other people in the county had gotten their shot. Our Jessica Clark is on your side, checking it out.
I have a husband. He's 86 years old. He's in an assisted living.
Carol Harris lives in St. Johns County.
I have not seen him since last March. I've not been able to touch him, hug him.
She told the St. Johns County Commission this week that the assisted living facility where her husband is has not received the vaccines yet.
Meanwhile, people 65 and over were at the Calhoun Center that had no underlying conditions.
In fact, more than 3,000 people older than 65 have already been vaccinated in St. Johns County who are not at long-term care facilities.
I didn't understand why.
Yeah, I not only understand the concern, I agree that's a concern.
Leary Lake runs Bayview Healthcare in St. Augustine, which has an assisted living facility and a nursing home. Harris's husband is not at this facility, but she is concerned about all of them. According to county officials, the vaccine takes different routes to get to different groups of people. Long-term care facilities are getting the doses from CVS and Walgreens. Meanwhile, health departments in counties that are giving out vaccines to people in their cars or at community centers are getting the doses from the state. Also, the feds initially put long-term care facilities and frontline health care workers on a priority list, but Florida leaders altered that priority list to also include people 65 years and older.
Do you think that long-term care facilities should have had it first? Do you disagree with the rollout?
The CDC thought we should be first, that's for sure.
Lake says there should be an urgency for long-term care facilities, but he understands that a big chunk of Florida's population is older than 65.
I understand the logic of being able to open that up. I don't know for sure that slowed things down.
Friday, at his nursing home, residents and staff received the COVID vaccine through CVS, but Harris's husband in a different assisted living facility across town is still waiting. In St. Augustine, Jessica Clark, First Coast News, on your side.